everybody. So, one of the things that I've been working on for this podcast is I'm trying to come up with topics that I know a little about, that interest me to one degree or another, just so I can give my opinion on stuff. And I came up with two topics concerning Facebook. Depending on how long I end up talking about them, I may end up making it one show, I don't know, but that's where we're going to start. So, I actually want to start back in 2016 on today's show. I'm going to try not to get overly political on this. I don't want the podcast to be mainly about politics or stuff. I want to be able to voice my political opinions at some point, but that's not what I'm after today. Where I want to start is back in 2016, after the primaries had wrapped up. There was basically unanimous consensus in the polls that Trump was going to lose. There was a lot of people saying that the betting markets were betting on Hillary. Gentleman that I listened to on the radio, he actually lost money betting on Hillary to win, even though he's not a fan of hers at all. He just wanted to win money gambling. And some of the common sense indicators said that she would win too. There was the amount of campaign money that she was spending compared to Donald Trump. She was doing somewhere within the margin of error and markedly better than Trump in the majority of the polls. There wasn't a lot of polls that had Trump with anything more than a margin of error lead in the couple weeks leading up to the election. That's not a sponsor, by the way. It's just tasty. So, when I realized that the polling companies were missing something, was on an evening in 2016, shortly before the election. At the time, I didn't have satellite or cable at my house. I was working a goofy shift, and so even if I did have it, I would have been able to use it like 2 nights a week, maybe, for me. And my wife and my kids weren't home all that often. We lived right in town, so they were goofing off, hanging out with friends and whatnot. So it just didn't make sense. So, and I made it a point to watch every debate that I could on both sides, the Republican and the Democrat debate, simply to give everyone everyone that was in the race the opportunity to voice their opinion and to win my vote. Not that I could have voted for a Democrat in the primary, but I could have abstained in the primary to whatever. Anyway. Or you could have switched party affiliation if there was a Democrat you liked that much. Or a Republican that you liked that much. You could switch party affiliation if there was one person that just made enough sense to you to change party affiliation to vote for them. You could. So anyway, I was watching, I forget if it was the second or third general election debate. And I was watching it on Facebook Live. One of the major news networks had the coverage of it, and they streamed it over Facebook. Now, one of the things that, if you've never watched a Facebook Live video, especially one that's got a huge number of watchers, when someone, if you are watching the video and you like it, at the point in the video where you hit the like or the heart or the laughy face or the angry face, whatever, that pops up in the live stream for everyone else to see in the bottom, and it just kind of flows up. Well, during the debate, whenever Donald Trump was talking, there was a lot of likes and hearts, and the comments would scroll up faster than you could read them, because there's thousands of people watching this video from this one live stream and commenting on it. But you could, pick 2 or 3 and read them before they scrolled out of sight up into the top. Well, anyway, Donald Trump's talking, and it's just likes and hearts and likes and hearts and likes and hearts by majority. And I realize that there's a ton of people out there that hate Donald Trump or disagree with his policies on things. I'm not going to say that everybody's just orange man bad. But someone had a house fire. Oh, wow. That's no good. It's put out, but house on my commute had a house fire. Anyway, I'm not going to say that there's not sensible arguments against some of Donald Trump's policies. But anyway, there's the majority of the comments are pro-Trump comments whenever he's up on stage delivering his response to the question. And the majority of the reactions are likes and hearts. I'd say 80% or higher are going that way. Well, whenever Hillary Clinton would either get to respond to a thing Donald Trump said or be asked a question, by and large, the reactions went straight to angry face. There were definitely some hearts and likes and whatnot in there, but the majority of them were angry face emojis. And a lot of the comments went to anti-Hillary stuff, that she mismanaged Benghazi, that she worked in cahoots with I can't remember the woman's name, the chairman of the DNC in the primary season, to screw Bernie out of the nomination from the DNC. Which there's people that say that for sure she did. There's people that say for sure she didn't. I have not personally read the evidence, but I know that Bernie Sanders would win the popular votes in several states, and all the delegates and super delegates went to Hillary. So if it looks like a pig and smells like a pig. But I'm not saying I know for certain. But anyway, there were people commenting all these meaner things about Hillary in the live stream. Now, bear in mind, this is the second or final debate, presidential debate. So I'm seeing all this, and I'm keeping tabs on the polls and who's leading in what states, who's whatever. And I was thinking that there's something that they're missing here. And they were saying that Hillary Clinton was going to sweep like a 330 electoral vote win and everything else. And some of these discussion panels and the people that predict elections with whatever degree of accuracy they do. And I thought, okay, Trump may not win, but they're definitely wrong about Hillary Clinton just wiping the floor with him. My opinion after watching that was, even if Trump loses, it's not going to be by a big margin of electoral votes. And I had been inundating myself at that point in time in the news, just listening to podcasts both ways, going to and from work, listening to podcasts at work, getting both sides of the aisle opinion on things, watching live streams from news networks, opinion pieces, reading articles, you name it. I was absorbing as much as I could while trying to keep it all straight. So the night of the election, I didn't actually live stream anything. The night of the election, my wife and I, we were sitting in the living room of our old house, and I had pulled up Google in one of the windows on my phone, and I would literally just refresh Google every 2 to 3 minutes on who's winning the election right now, and I watched the election tallies come in that way. That way I didn't have to listen to the opinions and, well, if someone gets this state, what other states are they going to have to carry to win the election, and what's the early voting looking like in this state, the exit polling. I literally just wanted to see who won what states to get what electoral votes. That's all I wanted, and that's what I got. And it was a very relaxed evening of finding out who would end up being the next president, which was, at that time in my life, I needed a very relaxed evening. I did not need the stress of having nail biters on whichever news network stressing about the election, and because I know that that's a big night for them and they're trying to keep their audience, but that's not what I needed at that point in my life. There was a lot of other things going on, and so I needed to have as relaxed an evening as possible while still being informed. So that's the gist of what I had to say, is that even though Trump did lose the popular vote by several million votes, there was a lot of stuff that was missed by the pollsters. So I know that presidential polling is already starting for the 2020 season. But there's too many variables at this point in the game. There's too many speeches that haven't been given yet. There's too many debates. There's too many appearances. And there's a ton of things that could change in a month that would all of a sudden make someone's specific presidential policies look stupid, and it could be something that they've held for a year, and all of a sudden this thing happens and that policy looks stupid, and now they've either got to backpedal or stand by it and look like an idiot. Either way. So anyway, that's my take on polling. I think it gave them a rough idea, but I also think that there's some pollers that were literally polling to get the result that they wanted, oversampling Democrats, undersampling Republicans, sampling in high majority areas where you have just a higher Democrat majority in a given area naturally. This person does not know how to drive. Swerving all over the road in a turn. And he's getting ready to get past if he doesn't speed up. So I think that there was some decided, I'm not going to say that they were fudging the numbers to get the polls that they wanted, but I think that they knew the ways that they could accurately get the poll they wanted to show the result. And I could be dead wrong. I would like to think that the world is made up of more honest people than that, but who knows? Anyway, I think that's about got it. Before we go, I would like to ask you, if you like what you see on the podcast, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Comments on any of the videos are welcome. Tell me something you'd like to hear my opinion on. I've got a little over a week's worth of ideas right now for future shows. I'm doing them in no particular order. It's literally, I write them down when I'm ready to talk about them and kind of have where I want to go with it in my mind. That's what happens. So I'm doing these ideas in no particular order. If you've got something you want to talk about, let me know. Even if it's something that I'm not interested in, I'll give a shout out and give my opinion on it, even if it's just a few minutes in the middle of another show. That way you know. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hit the notification bell if you want to see when the next video goes up. We are out of here, I guess. So, have a good day.